This isn't about one country or one leader. It's a repeatable system, a machine that turns stolen power into clean money. And once you understand how it works, you start to see it everywhere.
So where does corrupt money really begin? It doesn't start with what you'd call a crime. It starts with power. It comes from inside the state itself. Think about it. Public contracts for roads, for defense, for energy, even disaster relief. Because the money starts inside the system, it's almost impossible to catch at the source. From day one, it looks completely legitimate. But this money has a huge weakness. You can't just spend it, not openly anyway. So you see, stolen money is actually a liability, not an asset, at least not yet. The real challenge isn't hiding it, it's transforming it.
I mean, you can't just go and buy a penthouse in London with it. You can't invest it in the global markets. That kind of capital attracts all the wrong kinds of attention. So it has to be changed. It's forced into an invisible machine, one designed to give it a totally new identity.
Here's where it gets interesting. For the money to become clean, it first has to disappear. The very first step? Break the trail.
The whole goal here is to create confusion, maximum confusion. The money gets split up into hundreds of tiny transfers. It's sent across borders again and again, changing currency over and over. And the clever part? No single one of these transactions is actually illegal. The origin is just erased.
This is all done using one incredibly powerful tool, the shell company. So what is it? Well, it's an entity that exists only on paper. It doesn't do anything, it doesn't produce anything, but, and this is the key, legally it can receive money, send money, and own assets.
And this is the part most people miss. The scale. We're not talking about one or two companies. A single operation might control hundreds of them, and each one is just holding a tiny piece of a massive, massive puzzle.
So these tools, they're all about creating a paper trail. It's fake, but it looks legally plausible. You'll see invoices paid for consulting services that never happened, so-called advisory fees sent to firms that offer zero advice. It's a whole world of phantom transactions.
Okay, what's next? The money moves again, this time to places with really strict bank secrecy laws, offshore havens. In these jurisdictions, any kind of legal investigation just grinds to a halt. It hits a brick wall. And the money, it goes quiet. All right, now for what might be the most important step of all. The money is injected back into the real, legitimate economy. And they don't just pick any industry. They choose sectors like real estate, construction, casinos, for a very specific reason. In these businesses, prices are subjective, projects are super complex, and cost overruns, totally normal.
And just like that, poof, the transformation is done. What started as stolen public funds now looks exactly like legitimate business profit. Now watch what happens next.
So, the money is clean. But that's not the end of the story. The next phase is all about protecting it. And you do that by building a fortress, not of stone, but of legality, all around these new assets. And what's the world's favorite tool for this? Real estate. It is, quite simply, the perfect washing machine for capital.
Think about why it works so well. Property values? They're completely subjective, right? Ownership can be hidden behind yet another shell company. So you buy with the dirty money, you sell it a few years later, and what do you have? Clean capital gains. The whole thing looks perfectly natural. So now the assets are insulated, they're safe, and they're not protected by walls or guards. They're protected by paperwork, tons of it. And that requires a whole different kind of professional.
We're talking about the best of the best. Top-tier lawyers, global accounting firms, tax specialists. Their job is to make sure every single step is technically legal, totally defensible in court. The money is now wrapped in a professional shield. But there's still one final layer of protection, and it's the most powerful one of all. This is the point where the whole system loops right back on itself. You see, the same power that took the money in the first place is now used to protect it. Suddenly investigations stall out, evidence just vanishes, witnesses decide not to talk, the state itself becomes the security system for the very funds it lost.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. Because this isn't just a local problem happening in a few bad countries. This is a feature, not a bug, of the global financial system. This changes everything.
We have this idea, this illusion, that corruption is just about bad leaders having a moral failure. But the reality? It's an engineered financial pipeline, a system specifically designed to absorb dirty money,
disguise it, and then protect it.
So why does the global system let this happen? It's simple, because powerful players benefit. A lot. Banks earn their fees, law firms make millions, real estate and stock markets get flooded with capital. At the end of the day, stopping it would hurt the bottom line.
So here it is, the core equation. You take political power, you add in weak oversight, and you mix it with a global financial system that's willing to look the other way. What do you get? Clean theft. Empires fall, leaders come and go, but this structure, this machine, it stays. In the end, this isn't really about a few brilliant individuals. Corrupt leaders aren't necessarily clever. The system is. And once you see the system, you can't unsee it. Subscribe for more.